Today I'm going to show you how to master this half lemonade, half knotless braid style. This is one that I've done recently. This is a video that I seen floating around the internet that everybody kept sending to me, so I said I would do my own version of it. And here's another one that I did, just a little freestyle design. So I'm going to break it down and show you exactly how to do it really easy. So first you want to start by parting the hair in half from ear to ear. So you can have your back section for the knotless and the front section for the feed-ins. Here I just started to do the feed-ins and I'm just parting my rows straight across the back. So the amount of rows you have depends on the size of your braids. And whichever side you want your braids going to, you're going to want to put individuals on that side also. So that's why I have these 3 rows in the front. Now, when I get to the front, you want to do feed-in braids and just braid it over to whatever side you're going to. This is just the freestyle design. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just started parting. So here it is. This is how it came out. And I'm going to show you now just a little bit more detailed breakdown on the mannequin of how I got that style. So here I'm showing you how to part it in half, front and back, and you just want to go from ear to ear. And you want to make sure that you start and end in the same point. So like if you start behind the ear on one side, when you get around to the other side, you want to make sure it ends at that same spot. So don't have it in front of the ear on one side and behind the ear on the other side. If you kind of measure those spots or use the ear as like a guide, you can pretty much have it even and straight going around. So now I'm going to part my rows across the back. And like I said, the amount of rows you have depends on the size that you're going to be doing. So I'll say, for instance, this is about a medium size for me. And I'm going to just start at the bottom, part my rows across, making sure they're even on both sides. Like I said, you can use whatever you need to use as a guide to make sure you get it even. You want to make sure that it's the same width across. So you want to make sure the ends are like the same height, and also in the middle, you want to make sure it's like the same height too. So if you take the row you parted out and kind of like hold it up and down so you can look top and bottom and make sure it's even across, that's kind of an easy way to do it. And I think I ended up having about 6 rows across the back. So you see how I held it up and down. I'm just making sure that it's even all the way across. So I like to use the pintail end of my comb to get through a like thicker bulk of hair. It's just easier, and it's easier for me to use it as a guide to get my part straight, and then I'll go back in with the tip and I'll clean my part up. So using that end just helps me to go straight across. It just gives me a straight guide. And that is the 3rd row parted out. And I'm just going to keep going across the back until I have all my rows parted across the back. And as you notice, it's not really, it's a straight part, but it's not straight. The head is round, so it actually kind of goes at a curve a little bit. I like to call it a smiley face, because you kind of have to dip a little bit, just a tad bit to go around the head. So as you can see the little bit, the roundness that I was talking about. You can see it better once you get closer to the top because you're more rounded at the top of the head. So if you make sure that both ends are even, are the same height, that will help you to get that little curve. And you want to make sure the middle of your part is the same height also, if that makes sense. So as you can see, it's even all the way around. It's like the same height from end to end. On both sides, we can see we got it about the same size. So that helps with getting the parts even across. And then the last portion at the top is just going to end up being 3 or 4 braids. Now this is the side that I mostly braid the hair to. So I kind of look at where I want my braids to fall on the face, and that's where I'm going to part across to put my rows in the front for those extra braids. These braids on the side, you won't even see. They'll be under the feed-in braids. So I'm just going to take this section and part it into 3 rows. And the amount of braids you put on this side is pretty much up to you. Like I said, they're going to be hidden. So if you just want it to look fuller, then make the parts a bit smaller so you can have more braids. But to even it out with the back, you'll have about 2 in the bottom and 3 or 4 in the other 2 rows. But like I said, you won't be seeing those. So now you want to take the rest of this front section and it's going to get braided to the side. So usually I part it into 2 sections, and this is my 2. This is how I usually part it, just for a base guide, even if I'm doing a freestyle. So this front section, I just pin off, and then the bigger section, I'm going to braid that around and straight over to the other side. So usually I do a little curve to it. And this is the end. Again, you want to make sure that your braid, when you part it, it gets a little bit slimmer to the end so all your braids fit, because that'll be about 4 braids. But you want to make sure that they're going to all fit when you get to the end. The same on this side. That little space, you want to make sure all your braids fit so you don't have any floating braids. So now I'm going to show you real quick how I do a knotless braids, because that's pretty much majority of the style. So I have 3 pieces of hair. They're the same size. And I'm going to take this little section and just rub a little jam on it, or whatever product that you like to use. And I'm going to split this into 3. Don't overthink it with trying to get 3 perfectly even sections. Just split it into 3. It doesn't have to be parted straight or anything. And then you're going to start braiding slightly. And then I'm right-handed, so it's easier to pick up my hair on the right side and add it in with my right hand. So I'm going to take it and I'm just going to loop it around my pointer finger. Slide it right on in. One at the top, one in the middle, and then keep braiding. So every time I get back around to the right side, I'm going to add another piece in. So all 3 of my pieces are going in back to back, putting them in the exact same way. And again, they're all the exact same size. This is just an easy way for me to do 3 pieces, no overthinking, and it's faster because some people put in 6 or 7 pieces, and of course it's going to take longer if you have to keep adding in pieces. So I like to do 3. 3 makes the braid even, and it's just easier. So once I get my 3 pieces in, I'm just going to braid it down. Braid it all the way down, or braid and tie a knot, put a curl on the end, however I want to do it. So this is the side that's getting braided over with the feed-ins. And like I said, a lot of times I just curve it around. So I'm just parting this around here and over to the other side, and it's going to be a feed-in braid. I didn't demonstrate feed-in braids in this video, but I will tag below a video I have on how to do feed-in braids. Very easy. And again, like I said, the front, you can pretty much do it how you want to. Get creative. This is just a few pictures of my finished product of the last time I did it. Here's a couple examples that I found online. Like I said, the front can be however you want to. So go ahead and try it out.